Hey folks, Wednesday night was the top 8 guys from the top 24 on season 9 of American Idol, and whoever said that this was a girls' year was a damn liar. I thought that the guys showed a lot more effort than the girls did on Tuesday night, but the real entertainment came not from the performances, but from the wacky behavior at the peanut gallery. Ellen Degeneres left the judges' table and ran up on stage to hug Tim Urban. Simon Cowell cuddled with the crocodile. And like Paula Abdul after a massive dose of Melinda Doolittle, Cara Dioguardi was reduced to tears. But more about all the judges later. The first performance was from former judges' favorite, DeWyze, singing a weird little song called Fireflies. I had never heard that song before. I looked it up online and apparently it's been a pretty big hit. I would have never known because my local radio station only plays like Beyonce and Lady Gaga. And after hearing the song though, I don't think I was missing a whole lot. Lee sang the song pretty well, as he always does. It was a little bit pitchy throughout. Maybe if Lee sticks around long enough, maybe we'll get a performance that's completely in tune, but I'm not holding my breath, but he did pretty good. It's really hard for me to enjoy a performance when I don't like the song. Randy said you worked it out. Ellen thinks a lot of people have a crush on Lee DeWyze. Well, I'm not one of them. I mean, he's not bad, but just not my cup of Tabasco sauce. Cara Dioguardi thinks there is a star bubbling. Simon doesn't think that Lee had a moment. What in the hell is it with Simon and his moments this season? You can't have a moment every moment that you're on stage. Next was Alex Lambert. He sang Trouble, and he may actually be in trouble after that performance. Is it just me, or is the mullet actually getting worse? I mean, the first week he had just a slight hint of like a mini mullet. And now it's like the real deal. It's like a full-out mullet. I expect if he sticks around for a while, by the end of the season, he's going to look like Dog the Bounty Hunter. I know the song is fairly new, Trouble, but to me, doesn't it feel like the song is from like the 1960s? It sounds so old. Maybe that's just because Taylor Hicks sang it and he looked so old. But I didn't like the song for him at all. I thought it was a horrible song choice. It just felt old and gloomy. The first week he was one of the better guys, and the second week he was even better than that, and now the third week I think he's kind of fallen off a little bit. Randy thought it was too fast. I disagree. I thought it was too slow. Ellen thinks that Alex has become a mushy banana. Okay, enough with the banana references, Ellen DeGeneres. It's getting a little bit old now. I still love you, but the banana things is getting a little old. Now, maybe he has become a mushy banana, but I'm thinking the different way than Ellen is thinking. I think he's become a rotten banana. I'm thinking he's become like too old and too dark to enjoy. Like his performance was too old and too dark, and I mean, if you get a dark, old banana, it's not any good to eat. Cara said the only thing standing in the way of you winning is you. No, Cara, it's actually Crystal Bowersocks and Michael Lynche. Simon wants Alex to imagine Randy in a bikini to help lighten up his performances. It couldn't be half as funny as Cara in a bikini at last season's finale. Next was Tim Urban. He sang Hallelujah. What a surprise. I thought Tim was like this week's Lacey Brown. I was expecting him to come out, perform badly, get ripped by the judges, make those grimacing faces that he always makes, and then end up leaving tomorrow night with a whimper. And instead, he now actually has a real chance of making it into the top 12. Not a huge chance, but still a small chance, but it was just a stroke of luck that got him into the top 24, and a stroke of luck that has brought him as far as he is now, so maybe his luck will continue and he'll make it into the top 12. Randy thought that Tim did a pretty good job. Ellen ran up on stage and hugged him and said, "That was fantastic." Tim's eyes got so big, I think he thought that Ellen was coming up on stage to hit him. Maybe he thought he was really bad and she was going to come attack him or something. Cara said, "You may be in the top of the boys right now." I don't know about that, Cara. And Simon feels responsible for Tim doing well this week. Next was Andrew Garcia. He sang Genie in a Bottle by Christina Aguilera. When Ryan Seascrest announced that he was going to be singing Christina Aguilera before the commercial break, I just automatically started singing Genie in a Bottle, and I thought I was being silly. I wasn't taking it seriously. I thought he was going to sing something else. So when he came out and did that, I just didn't know what to think. I think it's the most hilarious song choice really ever in the history of the show, and also one of the most inappropriate. When he started singing that song, it was just, I didn't know what to I still don't even know what to say. I mean, if you listen to the lyrics of the song, it's pretty raunchy. I thought it was pretty inappropriate when Christina Aguilera sang it, but by Andrew Garcia, it became right down creepy. I mean, the mental images that were running through my head were like, somebody rubbing him the right way? I don't even want to think about it. It's so gross. I get what he was trying to do with the song. He wanted to do a pop song by a female that most people wouldn't expect to be done by a male, and I think he kind of failed at it. It's really what the judges have been begging for, though. I thought he sounded okay. He always does. But for me, it's like everything he does now is starting to sound like the last thing that he did, only with different words. So I have a sneaking suspicion that if he puts out an album, he may have one hit, and then everything else on the album will sound like that one hit, and then he'll just fizzle out. I think he's shown us the best that he has to offer, though, so I don't really care if he makes it to the top 12 or not. I kind of hope he does go home this week. Randy said it felt like the whole song was 3 notes, and it really did. Ellen thought that the genie came out of the bottle too late. Kara said that Andrew peaked too early, and he really did. Simon thought it was a little bit desperate, and it was. And they all went on about the Paula Abdul song again. This is why he can never move past it, because they won't quit talking about it. Next was Casey James. He sang You'll Think of Me. I thought it was a good song choice, and it's not 100 years old, and it was leaps and bounds better than that awful show-off performance with his electric guitar last week. But I wasn't jumping up and down. I wasn't going Kara crazy over him. I liked the first half better than the last half, because when he really got into it, the whole Billy Goat thing came up again with that weird vibrato that he does, which I think sounds really bad. So I thought it was just okay. Randy thought it was a safe choice and wanted him to be more edgy. What, like he was last week? He's horrible when he's edgy. Ellen thought it was a great song and that he's more comfortable sitting on the stool with a guitar. Aren't most of them this season? It's a little bit boring when that's all they do is sit there with their guitar. So, Kara is missing the spark, but thought it was a move in the right direction. Simon thought it was his second best, and since we're only in week 3, then that means it's his second worst too. I guess Simon's a glass half full kind of guy. Next was Aaron Kelly. He sang I'm Already There. I wasn't crazy about another country song choice, but I thought it was much better than My Girl last week. It started out pretty rough. It started out really kind of rough for him, but I thought he picked it up, and I thought it turned just okay for me. Wasn't great, wasn't horrible. I don't think he won over many new fans that weren't already voting for him, but I don't think he lost a whole lot either. A lot of people seem to think that he has got the entire 12-year-old girl voting block under lock and key, and I just don't think that's the case because a lot of 12-year-old girls really just aren't that into country music. And not only that, but I have read that a lot of Justin Bieber fans actually hate him because they have only enough room in their heart for one. Randy said, this dude can sing. What? Ellen thinks that he stands like he's 30. Kara said that the song was in third person about a man calling home to talk to his kids, so it isn't relevant to him because he's only 16. Hello, Kara. Third person means that he's not singing about something that is relevant to him. And a lot of country songs, most country songs are third person. Unless they're about women, whiskey, and tractors, but most of them are in third person, telling a story. And who's to say that Aaron isn't the kid that is getting the call from his dad? So I think Kara was completely out of line with that and just trying to find something to bitch about. And Simon completely called her out on it. He said, I think what Kara just said to you was rubbish. And it was rubbish. Now, one of my favorite country songs, I don't like a whole lot of country music, but one of my favorite country songs is about a man killing a woman and then going to prison. Now, that relates nothing to my life, and I don't think it relates to the singer either, but it's still a good song, and country music is mostly about telling stories, and I think Aaron Kelly does it pretty well. Next was Todrick Hall. He sang Somebody to Love. I think it's the best we've seen of Todrick. I think he sounded great. Of course, that's never been the problem. The singing has never been the problem with Todrick. The problem has been that he changes the song so much until we don't even recognize them. And don't even recognize them. I sound like Simon now. He takes the tried and tested true version of the song and just throws it in the garbage and then makes up his own. I don't think what he realizes is that when people do their own versions of the song on the show, they're not really doing their own versions. They find a cover version that's been done well, and they do that version. And so Todrick, when he sings the song that he's redone, it's the first time it's ever being heard, so it's not tested, and we don't know whether it's going to be any good or not, and it usually isn't. But he didn't really change up this song too much, so I thought it was great. I liked the first half better than the end. I thought it peaked a little early, kind of like Andrew Garcia. If this had been the first we had seen of Todrick, though, he would be top 12 for sure. But unfortunately for him, I think butchering our favorite songs may have cost him a little bit, and it may be too late for him to come back from that. Randy said Todrick is back. Ellen thought he was brave. Kara didn't know whether to laugh at it or love it because it was so dramatic. I think that was a little bit out of line. What is wrong with her tonight? It was dramatic because it was a Queen song. How can you not be dramatic singing a Queen song? And if Adam Lambert had come out and done the same thing, I think she would have sang his praises and called him a rock god like she once did. Simon thought it was American Idol the musical doing Queen, but it did stand out amongst everyone sitting on a stool with a guitar. And I think Todrick would be happy with Broadway, and I get what Simon was saying, but I think they're being a little bit too hard on Todrick. With a Queen song, you have to be dramatic, and it is going to come across a little like Broadway. I think if he had done a different version of the song, they would have said, oh, I didn't feel it from you. I didn't feel that emotion coming from the song. And this is one of those songs that, and you know how they would have done. And last of the night was Michael Lynche singing A Woman's Work. Big Mike was, of course, the best guy last week, and he did it again this week. As always, I wasn't crazy about the song choice, but he started out with this falsetto that I didn't even know he had, and I thought he worked the stage, and it was just great once again. He's gotten better and better every week, but I still don't get the sense that he's peaked yet. It doesn't feel like he's done the best that he can do. So I think he's going to end up doing very well. Randy said, really? Really, really? Ellen said it feels like the show just began. Kara sobbed like a sloppy alcoholic. What in the hell was that all about? I mean, Mike was good, but crying? On the show? I mean, now I know that Kara is begging for attention, but I thought her most embarrassing moment came when she was almost trying to molest Casey James right there on stage, and apparently she has proved me wrong this week. I was literally sitting here shouting at my TV, you aren't Paula Abdul. Quit crying. Quit acting like a big old baby. She's not Paula. But maybe she's pregnant or something. All these hormones or something. Because, ladies get different hormones when they get pregnant. So maybe she's pregnant. And it would make sense because she just got married last summer and she's almost 40. So menopause is right around the corner. So if she was ever going to start a family, right around now would be the time. So she might be expecting. Simon thought it was the best of the season, so of course the best of the night was Big Mike, and I think it's harder to predict with the guys than with the girls, because with the girls, you've got such a huge divide. You've got the really good ones, and you've got the really bad ones. And with the guys, you've got like Big Mike, and then everybody else. So none of them are too bad, but none of them are too great either except Mike. And so it's really hard to predict, but I'm going to say Alex and Andrew, and I really hope it's not Alex, but I do hope it's Andrew. Possibly Todrick Hall, too, because I don't know if he did enough to actually stay in, but we'll see what happens. I'll see you folks tomorrow.